Hello everyone, welcome back. Thanks for watching. My name's Sam. I'm a six-figure funded trader with FTMO. I trade the order block strategy. If you've been following along with this series, I really wanted to look at August. Can be one of the worst times to trade apart from around Christmas time because of the summer holidays. We've actually done alright in the group and myself to make profits through August, but it was definitely slow. So I wanted to compare that with my live results from what the backtesting is going to show, really sharpen up my skills, ready for when we come into the second half of September and the markets really kick off again. So I was going to end it on the last video after 4 weeks of backtesting on Euro USD, but didn't feel right to end on the 25th of August or so like that. So I'm going to do the last week up until September 1st and just really round it all off for this series, and then we'll get back into it from September onwards. So let's jump into it. On the last ones, I haven't been on my full markup again, but here I'm going to show you my full top-down analysis on it, and then we'll go from there. I start on the daily. That's my main highest point. Sometimes I look at the weekly every so often, but the daily is what I'm looking for. So how I get across to it, broker structure, this high was broken by this high there, okay, and then this high was then broken by this high. So we've got the breaker structure there on the daily. So this is currently our daily high, and this is currently our daily low. It's the lowest point between the last high and the next breaker structure. So for me, this is the daily low. Not too, the daily market structure obviously comes into play when I'm looking for reversals and everything like that. However, I'm entering off the 15-minute time frame genuinely. I really just take into account the daily structure and the points of interest, So we had this point of interest before that we're watching, but we've since, I'll show you it now. We've since, pushed through that easy. So that's just like, I'm looking for points of interest. It's like order blocks. So this is a nice little order block that swept these lows and then pushed up with imbalance, broke some structure. However, the ones I'm looking at right now, we have this one. We pulled back for some lows, some nice, big candles coming out of here. We got a nice little pullback consolidation. So we've tapped into that one now. Potentially there's one here as well, but it sort of gets a little bit not that clean on terms of demands down here, but I'm sure there's something there. So we'll just highlight it anyway. We're looking for reactions out of this place. And what do I have in terms of my daily bearish ones? As you can see, we had really nice sweeps of liquidity up here, which is what I mean by we take out a lot of highs and then we push down. We broke some internal structure here and we've just kept pushing down. If you've been following along, you know what's going on here. Just for people that jump in and see this brand new, I wanted to give another one with a full markup though, so you can see where we're coming from. But that's pretty much everything on the daily I'm looking for. Okay, so we'll jump on the 4 hours. Okay, let's see what we have here. I'll just roughly mark up the last few breaks of structures we've had. We had a breaker structure here on the 4 hour. We then had a push down, a nice push up and a sweep, and then a new low being broken. So we had a nice breaker structure here. We then had just this point going down, no liquidity sweeps on either of these highs. So we kept pushing down. This was the new low till finally we pushed up. This high took out some highs here. We then got a push down with a wick break, but eventually we broke structure down here. So essentially you could call it like that because my breaker structure happens at the low of this wick once that's broken after the failed run of the lows. But just for aesthetics, I can pull it across like this. Okay, 4 hour break of structure. We then had a sweep here where we took out some liquidity from a consolidation, and which then led to another breaker structure on the 4 hours. And then we are where we are right now. We've tapped into a daily point of interest, so potentially we can look for maybe reversal points here. This is right now the 4 hour high, because it's the high that led to the break of structure. And we've pretty much got like a double bottom type low situation going on here, or for the 4-hour low. Then for our points of interest, we've obviously got this one very current here that led to the break of structure. We also had this one that we were looking for shorts out of. That has since been mitigated, so we don't include that anymore. And we have this area up here. You know, you could realistically include maybe a bit more because there's so much imbalance there, but you know, maybe we'll just include these two for the 4-hour. Just an area we're looking at. That's about everything on 4-hour that I'd like to look at. Yeah, so let's jump on the 15. Keep it pretty simple. So we had just a wick sweep of the low, so it hasn't changed anything with my 15-minute structure. So this was a 15-minute high still. I know it's the same as a 4-hour high, but that just happens when we get extended push downs like this. We had this is the last 15-minute break of structure here with body break. We then here, what I'll show you zoomed in so you can see. If you watch the last video, you'll see as well what happened here. We never got a break above these highs with a body break. We just had wicks. So we had a wick here, and then that created our new high that we needed to break with the body break, and we didn't. We just wicked it, so we never got any 15-minute confirmed chalk, and we pushed back down, creating a 4-hour breaker structure. However, at the same time, we created a 15-minute breaker structure here as well. They're not always the same. Just depends on like the fractional nature of the market, that they can end up being, you know, the same ranges. It's just how it goes. You know, the market isn't always going to give you separate ranges. There's internal structure here, but we're looking at internal, the ones that actually move the market down. So pretty much all this is internal of this leg here. Not really that interested in anything here because we've just double bottomed here. Potentially shorts from here if we get a 4-hour rejection. Otherwise we're sort of just internal of this huge range here that's not very exciting. So maybe if we break here, but no, I don't want to look for longs. For me, they're not what I'm really looking for right now until we have some confirmation. Of course, it could end up going long put in, but it didn't lead to any breaker structure with a body break. So we're sort of just floating in the middle again. Potentially push up, sweep this, and we come down again, or you know, we potentially push higher and break some of these highs, and then we reassess from there. So okay, so I'm pretty much I wake up around 7 a.m. or a bit earlier, and I'm on the charts around 7:30 to mark up my chart. So that's all my session starts from there, and then go through it. I'll explain how I enter and you know, all that type of things. But I'm trading on the 15-minute, looking for chalk out of here. These sorts of things, you know, if we do come up here, because there's no order blocks that I really like this much now. I had from last week, there was a short from this order block here that we rejected and hit the target. But I'm sort of like, you know, if we can get something like this, a nice chalk, and then I'll trade it back down or something like that. So let's just have a look what happens. Okay, Mondays. What I'll just mark out, you know, realistically, we're sort of trading between this supply that's caused chalk in here and this demand that's swept slightly. So, but neither is really high probable, or you know, so I want to, it's nothing really I'm interested in, to be honest. It's nothing really high probability. We've already swept the lows, you know, we didn't break structure, you know, otherwise if we broke some structure, I'd be super keen to short out of here to break the lows. But this, you know, this sweep of the lows here makes me think that we want to go higher. But we actually haven't got any 15-minute chalk for me to like have a confirmation of my high. So problem with these news puts in this like ugly range, this like push up, push down with no real like resolution. You know, it can be, yeah, a bit annoying, but you have to be patient to wait until there's some sort of resolution of these ranges. Potentially in this lower area, if we did have a bit of strength, like a nice 50-minute chock out of this demand, I'd may consider to take a trade out of there. It's a bit aggressive, but it's probably because there's like some sort of chock on the 5 minutes, but I don't really often like to trade that. It's only if there's been huge movement with the news, because it's not as probable as the 15-minute chock. Looks like, yeah, we're into the next night. So Monday was not much. I think maybe there must have been a public holiday or something like that. I don't really remember. But we are pushing up. All right, let's pause it. All right. Still nothing. It's teasing us. You know, we're still in this area here. So it is a bit annoying. I want to have a resolution of this area, but sometimes you just have to wait. You just have to be patient. Stick to the rules. You know your rules are profitable. There's no reason, you know, jumping the gun and just like bleeding out money when it makes no sense to. So potentially we're coming down. Okay, we are. Got some pause there for a second. What do we got here? Jolts. Can never remember how big, but it's a red news, especially in like an area that I'm not really, you know, that sure about. I'm not taking risk entries out of that. I was looking for maybe some sort of strength, you know, so potentially we, let me just grab this. We've tapped into this area and we get a chock here. So we push into that area, and if we get a chock, a nice like body break here, then I would consider going long. So let's see what the news brings us. Oh, okay. Well, we did get that, but it is long gone. Okay, so what do we have here? We did sweep the highs. We do have a 4-hour POI here. We do have our 4-hour high and our 15-minute high. I don't know if I can click on that and drag it across. So any nice chock out of this area, 15-minute chock out of this area I would take. This looks like it's already gone. You know, potentially, you know, you can mark up this area, but you just have to think of how bullish is price going to be if it's pushed all the way up here and then we come all the way back down. I'm not like that excited to take this, but you never know. Let's see. Okay, we're pushing up. Yeah, we've had this sort of sweep here, but we've got huge imbalances below. I'll just wait for some sort of chock if it comes. Grinding up, okay. Let me have a quick look here. We've just touched the highs, slightly swept them actually. We've had, did that create a lower high? Let me see if this is actually, so what's that? The high on it is 741 or 741. For me, we need to, because that's not like a proper signified pullback. It's got equal highs there. We need to break this low for me to actually want to go short. Yeah, see, that's what I mean. It really makes a difference. You want to have this, you want to have it a lower high on a single candle consolidation for it to be like, you know, considered pullback. These were equal highs, so this wasn't really a chock at all because this was just a continuous move up. We have now actually created 15-minute chock. However, what's the time? We're now late at night on Tuesday. Okay. Let me check the 4. Let's play through till the end of Asia session when our session starts, and I'll reassess what the market's just done. Okay. This is actually the chock level. You know, if we hadn't have just broken major, taken major highs, let's have a look at the 4 hours. That's what I want to do. So. Okay, we have closed above 2. Into this imbalance. Let me see if we include... Let me see if we include this whole area push up here. We have attached it. Okay. I'm going to just include it to here. Okay, this is almost, yeah, this would be a 4-hour chalk. Interesting. You know, when you get a 4-hour chalk, sometimes that can mean that we're in a pullback for the daily. You know, so sometimes we've got this, let's type it out. Let's mark it out. So what I want to show you, I think this is good to how we interpret chalks. So we now have a 4-hour chalk. So now we have to think, okay, we're starting our daily retracement or our daily impulse. But due to the fact that we're in this leg here, we have to get through this daily point of interest here first. So if I was to look at this, we had our break of structure here, we had the push up, we had all this liquidity swept on the daily. Anyway, that's liquidity swept, took it out of all these highs and then dumped the market. Broke structure of this low that pushed to there. And so then this, our current internal bearish daily leg, we could be taking a pullback for that. So let's mark it up. Okay, we've now come to the discount zone. Let me just see the whole pullback. We haven't touched it quite. So we're in the discount zone on the daily now. Okay, so we have to think, if this is really just a pullback to go down deeper, then we would be cautious with longs. However, we have had a nice 4-hour chalk, so there is potential here. Let me mark up 4-hour point of interest. After the chalk. This is still our 4-hour low. And this would be our 4-hour high at the moment. Okay, and we delete this because it's not valid anymore. We've now got to chalk up. Okay, let me draw the premium discount in. So yeah, it's a pretty nice area here to look for longs out of. Let's jump back on the 15. And when you get major breaks like this, you need to be aware. Okay, we have, this is like a flip zone area. It'd be somewhere I'd look for strength out of. Because we've got all this imbalance below, it's not something that I would, because there's such imbalance below, it's not something I would risk entry. Could be at the detriment of missing a trade, but it's just part of my back testing that's come out here. So let's see what happens when we get into our session. Okay, push into that imbalance. Let's pause it there for a second. We've swept the lows, kind of broken the lows, however then pushed back up. We have got a body break above this wick high. So we first attempt to break it. Okay, yeah, so we've got dipped into this imbalance, and we probably tapped on the top of this actually if you were to see this as a whole section here. Let's have a look. Yeah, okay, so that's pretty nice. What we have here then, well, we then had a try to chalk and then a confirmed chalk. And so this would actually be our nice order block to then take price up higher. It's annoying that we've already tapped into it, but what I do is I mark it out my 15-minute and then I get a modified Gann chart that has different lines. It's got the 0.2 line marked out. So what it is we have the 25 line, and the green one's a 45 line. We got the 50 and then the 75. I don't really use the 75 at all. what I do is I measure the size of the order block, and that's how I determine where I put my entry. So if it's 5.5 pips, I always give 0.5 just for slippage or spreads. So I got 6 pips. So anything under 5 pips, I'll enter on the edge of this order block. Anything from 5 to 7 pips, I enter on the 25 here. And then I think at this point we're targeting just, I don't know, I guess this 15-minute high at this point to break the high. We don't know how much higher we're going. Could be into the supply, but it's just above. So we're going to see how that plays out. Okay, oof, I have to have a look. That is going to be very close. Let's pause that. I wonder if we would have survived. Hard to say. I guess it depends on your spreads. That's why I give a bit of room here. But yeah, I think we would have been done on this one. Well, sucks. But that is just the way it happens sometimes when you go for the tight entries like that. I guess with still a bit of imbalance below, I could have given it a bit more room, but lessons learnt, so we'll call that one is a loss, even though it played out perfectly. Brutal. So we've then swept the highs. We haven't had another break here. So yeah, I don't have anything in mind just yet. Okay, so New York Open has kicked us off and sent it. Well, let me jump on the 4-hour quickly. We've just blasted through this supply, so we've actually taken quite a lot of liquidity here now. Pushed up very impulsively. We have a 4-hour area here that I guess we can mark out to see if we get any strength out of it. But there is huge amounts of imbalance below. But it's more just for marking out whether, there might be reactions out of that, not actually taking trades out of it. Let me jump on the 15 and see what we have here. It's pretty hot where I am right now because the street's so loud outside that I need to close the window. So I got the fan on, but it's like 30 degrees or 33 degrees in Germany right now. So I am a little bit sweaty. I don't know if I'll keep that in the video. So we had the wick break here, but then we had the body break here. So, essentially I count it, this is the high that led eventually to the body break, but this is where the body break was confirmed. So we then have our 15-minute low at the moment down here. And we have an unconfirmed 15-minute high. We have a pretty decent looking order block. But I won't be risking entry out of that due to the fact that we have so much imbalance again, and we sort of just got screwed with imbalance. Why didn't I just do this? Still 5R. Anyway, live and learn. Yeah, I'm not going to take it, so I'm not going to mark it out because there's big imbalances below. There is actually this extreme that I might be more interested in. We did sweep some liquidity on it. Obviously, we got swept. It's inside a 4-hour order block. And yeah, let's see how it comes into it. Or we'll see, what happens if it does come into it eventually. We're moving very far away. Okay, so what you can see here, what I've pointed out to you guys as well, good to look at. It's actually quite a nice consolidation. We've got the lower high and the lower low. So for me, this would actually be a consolidation that would be good enough for me to think that this is a 15-minute shock. And then we can, see what plays out from there. But that's still, this is still the 15 low down here. This is just somewhere where I would look for shorts after this happened. Because we're so high up, and I think even though my daily demand is drawn a bit higher, here. I think if you were to cover the whole area, we would be inside it. I'll just show you what I mean quickly. Go to the daily. Yeah, so see this wick? This is the whole move up to lead to a sweep. Potentially could be rejecting already. We've swept all these highs as well. A lot of liquidity gone, so we're in the discount zone of the daily. Yeah, so for me, chock. If there's opportunity after chock, or if chock occurs, I will look for shorts. But also, this is pretty nice long for me as well down here. We'll just see how what happens before that, but I think I will still take this risk long. Okay, so it's getting into the night time, so yeah, no chock yet. We'll let it just play through the Asia session. Okay, perfect. We're at, what time is it? Yeah, 7 AM. So we still haven't got this chock. You know, potentially. Sometimes I would take a long out of here, but when we've pushed so high and we're right near daily supply and we've got such imbalance underneath, I'm not that interested. It would have played out a bit, probably like if you're trading it there, maybe break even as it's coming back. But let's see if we get the chock here. I've marked this out, but not really that interested in it. Let me just mark out the 15-minute high now. Still have this extreme inside this 4 hour, but we have a huge amount of 4 hour balance below. Actually, I think I would still like to take it though. Okay, let's see what London session brings. Got a bit of red news. Is it really interest rates? There's a lot of red news actually. Inflation. Okay, I think we just had Frankfurt open there, and now London. Okay, it's playing out. I think it's just catching up. Oh, so annoying. Okay. Yeah, I think it was lagging behind. It's not really what I wanted, but I was telling you that I did want to go this long from here. It's a bit annoying that's already been tagged in again, but yeah, my computer was lagging there and it's just played it all out. Have a look. Well, we had 9.4, so we would enter on the 0.45, 5.5, yeah, we're going to 6, and have a look. We've got our chock here. I'd have to have a look at it on the 5 minutes, but we did sweep a lot of liquidity here. What's coming up next? Okay, quite a bit of red news as well. What would we be already at? We'd already be, yeah, it's 3.7, so 2 hour on counter. Oh no, this is pro trend, so 3 hour. I think it'd be at 3. Yeah, we'd be at break even already. Realistically, we should target the highs, but we've had 15-minute chock out of almost the daily supply area, so even this 15 supply could hold us down. This would be my first target. I wouldn't take a short out of this, but I think this would be the final target. But I have to wait for 15-minute chock out of these. This one, yeah, I don't know. With this news coming up, I wouldn't set any limits here. I'd put this to break even and we'd see what happens. Yeah, so we stopped out there, break even. Okay. So we've now swept the lows. Let's see if we break them, and then we can look at new areas. We delete this 4 hour. It's not relevant to us anymore. Big sweep of the highs here. Yeah, let's just see. I haven't got anything that I'd like. Yeah, okay. Okay, let's pause that here. We had this 15 low. Should be able to bring it across. That we've just broken. So we've got a major chock there. We now have this consolidation. Oh, looks like next candle's already tagged into it. It's hard with this replay when it's just printing 15 minutes at a time. You know, obviously this whole candle's not going to print so fast in real time. You're going to have some time after it closes to get set up. But this is like the same trade. Consolidation here, we've got a higher low. It doesn't have a higher high, but we've got this sweep up the top, the field imbalance, and it's directly led to chock. So what I'll do is actually I need to look on the 5 minutes, see if there's imbalance present, because that's a big factor. Okay, yeah, we have imbalance here present, so yeah, that's perfect. We do have slight imbalance above as well, but nothing on the 15. So with these ones, sort of happy to take that. Yeah, 9, so we have to go to 10.4. Now we're going to 45. And essentially, that could take us to this 4 hour. Okay, looks like we've been missed. We've had another break here. Let me look on the 5. There's no imbalance. So I will leave that. I'll delete this. It's already played out. If we're going to reverse here, then there's nothing that I'm that interested in. And yeah, it's up to 6 o'clock. So pretty much end of my trading day. Okay, yep. We'll just see how it goes through in Asia. And then I think, yeah, we're on to Friday. So last day of the week would be September 1st. Alright, so we're a bit over the August, but we'll do Friday anyway to sum up the week. I think that was some big news actually. Yeah, non-farm payrolls. It's a little bit annoying when that happens because sometimes there's no chance to get a trade before that, but we'll see. Unfortunately, this one, no tag. We're not sure if it was going to play out. Can draw it up if it does. But, you know, this was sort of the play. And then, you know, we've got a new breaker structure, but there was no imbalance there for us to take any trades out of. So, oh, it's catching up. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't have any. We had this low that was put in, and this was the high. And then the high did actually hold in the end. So there was probably a short out of there, but wasn't any imbalance here for me, so I didn't like it. So the high did hold. Then we got a breaker structure, and we got the new high here. So we actually got a 15-minute shock, and we are actually this is our 4-hour leg. I can show you that what I mean. I can just see it from here, but if we go out to our 4-hour, this is our whole move up. We never had a pullback, don't to sweep any major lows on this. So we've then pushed up. We've taken out some, so this could be our bearish retracement now. Okay, we haven't touched the 4-hour, but you know, we might have come back into some sort of demand area here, and you can see there, just tapped into it. Doesn't always come back to our most extreme level there, but we're in the discount zone after a 4-hour chock. We've now had a 15-minute chock, so everything's all right to look for longs. So let's line up the extreme here. There was a flip zone, however we got super imbalanced there. Just wondering where we would. Was there any 4-hour points of interest? So it was a push up. I guess there's a 4-hour internal chock, 4-hour here. Just tricky to know where to target for this. I guess it's got this big area still. I wonder if there was any 5-minute balance still left in that. Not really. It's tricky to know where to target for this. I guess if we 4-hour chock down, then let's just go back to the basics. This is our 4-hour leg down. So I think maximum target would be to target that premium discount area. Top target would be this high, 2.5. Oh, well, I'm not on the, let me draw up my Gann chart quickly. Okay, how big is this area? 8.8, so we'd enter on the 45. Give 0.5 below. I think it's 5.3. Yep. Oh, and yeah, 45. So let's do the safest. We do have this sort of area just above it. Be quite ambitious, so I'm gonna just target somewhere around here. Just if we sweep this sort of liquidity and reject right about the 15-minute there. Okay, we've got quite big news coming up, so we'll see what happens for that. But we are coming in quite nicely. Okay, we've been tagged. Okay, unemployment rate. Yeah, I would go to break even for sure. If not, it's tricky with non-farm payroll, because if it dumps against you, you can get really bad slippage. So we'll see. I think break even at least. I think that was the news. It's coming back down. Alright, so let's have a look where we would have been at right at the news. 2.8. Probably would have been a good idea to just close out there for 2.8. We didn't quite get, maybe I was a bit ambitious taking this liquidity. Would have got to about 9R before it dumped. Like I said, the safest is this next high here, which could have locked in 5R. Realistically, live trading with non-farm payroll, I would have closed out about 2.8. I wouldn't have read that all the way up. So pretty much then just got a reverse chalk. And then I guess we have this massive order block here. That, you know, what are we, 430? Some more news. Oh no, I think it's just happened. And prices just bleeding out, yep. Alright, so yeah, we would have just had that trade today. There's a potential of 9R on it. I guess there was this area here for an order block, but there wasn't really any imbalance in it, so I wasn't happy to take that one. It did reject the market, but it's not the end of the world. So what I'll do is I'll tally that up and then I'll get back on. Okay, now I just want to run over the results that we got from the week. Let's have a look. This is the final week actually. This is the final video for August. So what I'm going to do a little bit as well after I run over the results is I want to look over this last month and have a look at which trades I took, which ones I missed, and really have a look at what I can do better next time. So let's just have a look at this week and then we'll get into that. Pretty boring week. We had definitely a tough first couple of days after we had this sweep of the lows, and we didn't have any sort of body break. There's potentially something I'm working on in terms of some sort of low time frame setups for the news setups, because we get such big candles. 15-minute sometimes can give us too late, especially after we have this sweep. We lined up all this liquidity here. We came and picked it up and then sent it. So potentially this could possibly some sort of trade on the lower time frame. We might be able to trade this. However, with this strategy, I wanted to just, don't worry about this from last week. I want to be, you know, congruent. This is the 4-hour, 15-minute. The type of things I'm working on, they're not ready yet. I really got to pull the data from before I'm going to release it. I really want to have really good stuff for you guys and for myself, obviously. This one's pretty unfortunate. I think now with a bit more knowledge of Asian session and imbalance, I would have either covered this imbalance or assumed a slight sweep of Asia coming into London, and, you know, maybe even entered lower or entered out of this potential order block here. I think I have to have a think about that, but that really shouldn't be a loss. Really should understand that this was an Asian session. London's coming in, they're going to want to take some liquidity. So even covering that imbalance or entering a bit lower or something like that, pretty unfortunate loss, but it is what it is. That's just what we do this for, and we understand and we grow that knowledge there. This is fair enough. Obviously, we discussed in the video about us being in a daily point of interest or close to it, having like a huge retracement, very impulsive up, taking a lot of liquidity from the left of the market. However, this was our valid order block. You know, we took some liquidity. We did have a bit of imbalance still below. However, you know, it pushed the market really high up and hard. We did get a reaction out of it. However, the market obviously has done its retracement on the daily and it's kept coming down. I think I'll zoom in a little bit. This one here would have been just a miss, I'm pretty sure, for this small continuation trade from memory. We then pretty much ranged sideways. We ended up having this nice sweep of the lows here, and then with our chalk. And, you know, obviously I think I was trying to target this this area here. However, like I tell in my videos, this is the first highest probability target here. However, we did have some big news coming in, so I'm pretty sure we just close this one out manually. What do we have? I think that was the reason there. Yeah, so non-farm payroll, it's not really something to mess with, because if this goes against you, well, it depends if you have raw spreads or not. Just go for it. Valid setup, 100%. However, if you don't, I've had troubles as well. I got caught on the wrong side of red news, and my stop loss got slipped 3.5x what it should have been. So it's like almost taking 4 losses in one. So it's just not worth it for me, and that's why I don't trade it. But yeah, August wasn't the easiest month. I'm going to have a look back. I've got the data all here. I'm going to have a look back at the whole month. There was opportunities like I showed here. What I want to do, I'm going to go back and look at the whole week. I'm going to go through, what I got, what I traded, what I missed. I should have it all here. So let's have a look at the first week. I was off in Poland for a wedding this whole week, so I didn't actually trade any of this first week, but it was actually quite a good week. Okay, so what I have is this Lux Algo sessions, and you see it's this box here. So it just shows you my session of trading. So I obviously include a few more because a lot of people that watch my video, they trade all of New York session, but the latest I'm trading till for my time, it's UTC +2, is 6 p.m. Usually I'm only going to about 5 p.m. I don't really like to enter trades after that, and there's a really nice setup because market tends to, can do some weird stuff after that. I've got having dinner, family, and all that sort of stuff. So I just like to have my day done by then. So, but 8 a.m. Frankfurt open, I'm ready to go. So anything between inside this box would be something that I would have traded. So, for the first week I wasn't trading, but definitely all of these trades were inside my zone. So definitely possibilities. Okay, there was no setup there. See, it's really good to see all these are inside the zone here. Let's have a look. Okay, we're into week 2. Okay, I can see. Yeah, so I definitely didn't take this trade live. It was kind of tapped in, in New York, but yeah, I definitely didn't take that live. So yeah, this first week I was trading back from Poland was actually a super tricky week. I didn't take any trades live. I know that for a fact because it was the first time in like a while. Well, I didn't take any trades live on Euro USD. I should say that. I took, I think, 2 wins on AUD USD, which I'm really enjoying trading. I'm going to do a bit more content around that because I think it's some huge potential opportunities I want to share with you. But I just wanted to do some live trading on myself and know, it's live possible and making some profits so I share more. So yeah, second week, even though backtesting I took a loss, I actually didn't take that loss in live. I didn't trade a Euro USD at all. So we're going to the third week of August. I know I took, I think it was just one trade. Yep, it was this trade here. I remember the setup because it was Asian OB that held, which is, it's very interesting. Normally we come and sweep out the lows of Asia. So I remember this trade because it was quite unusual, but it was valid. We had to push up. We had a really nice order block here that took liquidity. It got put in, a little bit before Frankfurt opened, so it was quite an unusual trade, but that I did take that. I didn't get this, it's outside of my trading zone. I didn't take this either. And yeah, nothing else. I only took one trade on Euro USD that week, but realistically that was outside my trading time. This one, yeah, I must have missed that. I definitely didn't trade that one from that I remember. And yeah, that was it actually. I think this is in the week 4 now, Monday. I did trade this. However, as you can see here, I traded it just up to here. So pretty much closing out right after my trading session ended. So it was only like 3.5, 4R or something. Not the full 8R that could have been, taking it to the high. I just closed out here because we had this chalk. I wasn't confident holding this overnight to potentially see if it took it to the highs. However, yeah, it's not bad. So I pretty much only missed one that week that I could have taken. For me to only miss one, it's really awesome. This backtesting is, every time I do it and I review, I'm getting closer and closer to my live trading being exactly like my backtesting. Obviously, there's a lot of variables in terms of, personal things that come up, appointments, all this type of stuff, or days off, or anything like that. When you're backtesting, you're sitting down there for an hour and a half, but you're covering a whole week's of time. Whereas when you're live trading, there's a week, 5 days, and anything can happen, you know, in those 5 days. You know, you might get called up for some emergency, or you have doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, or tax appointments, calls, all that sort of stuff that can mean that you might miss trades that you wouldn't obviously in back testing. So trying to get closer and closer to my live being exactly like my back testing, but there's just quite a lot of variables that come into play, unfortunately, in terms of, you know, not being on these days. I know I missed a couple Fridays that I really know that there was nice trades that I could have taken in this. So here we are at 24th of August. So yeah, I took this trade. I missed this trade. I don't know, must have just been too slow. Can't remember exactly, but I definitely didn't get this trade. But that is a really beautiful trade that I wouldn't want to miss. The only thing is with the imbalance above, but usually with these chocks, because these happen so quick, the imbalance isn't such a big deal because it's just this really fast continuation trades. Just a little pro tip there. Okay, this one, yeah, I did try to enter, missed the entry. I do remember that because we had the chock and then we had the boss, and it just didn't come deep enough. So it was missed like this as well. I didn't trade any of this day either. Maybe it was a good thing. I might have taken a couple losses, but I wasn't trading that Friday, I know for sure. So this week as well, the one trade that was available, pretty sure I got it. Or maybe there was 2 trades available and I only got one. Yes, there was 2 trades available and I got one. So, and it's possible to get all these, but you have to know I do this back testing to really show myself that it's still working, to sharpen my skill. Summer was quite tough. You know, as you can see, you know, even this last week of summer, there was this trade. I wasn't trading on Friday again. I had some personal stuff going on, so I had the last few Fridays off, and that was the only time for a potential opportunity. However, you know, with non-farm payroll, it was very risky. We moved up super impulsively. Potentially, if you trade on low time frame, there might have been opportunities for you here, but purely sticking to the 15-minute, 4-hour. This was quite unlucky. A little bit extra give, cover the imbalance, which I should have. Not a silly bugger. I don't remember trading this live. I don't think I had any trades this week on Euro USD, but you know, that could have been, you know, that can make your month, you know, if you run that up quite high. However, yeah, I didn't have that in live trading, so I didn't take the loss. I did take this live and got break even, and I didn't take this entry because I wasn't working, sorry. So all in all, actually, my backtesting and live was really quite close for this pair over August. There wasn't huge amounts of opportunity, so it was actually, it's actually doing this review really makes me realize that August was a tough month, and it felt like a tough month. It was still a profitable month, but it was a tough month, and something to be aware of going into it next year. Obviously a while away, but that's why I did this series, because a lot of people I talk to, professional traders, really good traders, beginner traders, everything in between, were really struggling in August, you know, especially with patience. I think I'm super lucky with that. I'm really happy to have patience and not, you know, try force stuff. It wasn't like that right at the start, especially early in the year. I was really excited. I want to trade all the time, but I know that, you know, you need 1 or 2 trades can make your week, can make your month if they're really nice trades. So you don't want to give all that profit back, or you don't want to lose all that profit, and then when you get the good trade, all you're doing is making back all your drawdowns. So it really can be patience, understanding that this is a tough time to trade, because I didn't know about it. I had to talk to other people and be like, what's going on with the market? But summertime is notoriously tricky because the lower volume and just starts being quite tricky. So it was my main focus of this series, just to, you know, give people realistic expectations for August and summer times. And pardon me, I'm going to have a look at September moving forward, and, you know, keep bringing you this backtest content and anything else you want to see. I'm happy to share with you. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Like, subscribe, comment below what you want to see. Any other pairs, I'll try to get to it. My main focus is obviously trading 100%, and obviously doing some coaching and all that sort of stuff, but 100% just trading, bringing this content because it brings value for me and brings value for you guys. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I will see you all in the next one. Thank you so much.